Welcome back, ladies and gents, to the third episode of the East Coast Bow Hunting Podcast, Hardcore Hunting. We're bringing you back here to SLAYIN studio in Coventry, Connecticut, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. DRock checking in with my brother-in-arms,
Trevor Berwick.
What's going on, Trev? How you feeling tonight?
Feeling good?
Today's episode is brought to you by STEPPIN Brewing, Connecticut's finest craft beer in Woket, Connecticut. 100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music known worldwide. Trev's Euros for all your Euromount needs. And CT Bow Hunting, Connecticut's #1 source for bow hunters. We are here as always striving for education, evolution, entertainment. What's going on, man?
Other than I just spilled my fucking beer on my lap, I'm doing pretty good.
Hey, that sounded good, the little crack as I talked about STEPPIN Brewing.
It was
Thank
perfect. Yeah, until I wore it.
Oh, man, so we're back on a Monday recording right now. By the time you guys hear, it'll probably be Tuesday or Wednesday. And we just hit opening day this past Saturday, September 15th in Connecticut.
Yeah, it feels good to have the season back up and open.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's been a wild weekend, actually. I mean, we look forward to this day all year long, and then it finally comes, and it feels like we're not even prepared yet, even though all the prepping we do.
Well, we have bloopers with Trev this weekend, so I mean, anyone who knows me knows that it's a fucking adventure, no matter what we do.
That's what I'm talking about. I mean, we have a lot to talk about this episode. I mean, all the topics at hand is Trev's bloopers, douchebag sightings, everything except for deer sightings, and it's crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? That's one of those things that's an untalked about thing. You know, how it's not always lines up and works out perfect. I mean, it's just, you know, we put in all this time day in and day out, and it just not happen. I mean, like, you know, Ryan put in those food plots, put in the scouting, the cameras, the tree stands. I mean, we went above and beyond this season, and it didn't happen yet.
And just for our listeners out there, Ryan couldn't make it tonight. He's taking hardcore hunting to a new level. He was out since opening day, every single day. Even today, he was out there, and he just spent all the juice he had in the tank, and he just couldn't make it tonight. So I tip my hats off to Ryan to try to hit it hard and try to make something happen and get some blood on the ground.
Yeah, because he wanted to be here and be covered in blood, and we'd be cutting up a deer before we did this podcast, but that didn't happen. But I know that he had some small sightings here and there, but nothing to get a shot off at.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And talk about hardcore hunting, man. Is the opening day, the high was almost 80 degrees. Talk about sweating bullets.
You sure it wasn't 100?
That's what it felt like by the time we got to the top of our trees.
I know my big fat ass at 260 pounds felt that it was 100 degrees outside.
What are you doing over there, Trev?
I'm pulling that Elijah. Would you like some?
No, I'm still good, actually. I got my good old STEPPIN Irish Pale Ale and the little cowboy juice next to good old boy Elijah. So what do you say we cut right into the topics at hand that we got?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm all about it.
All right, cool. What I want to do is actually take it step by step because everyone knows me by now. You know, Friday nights is date night. I know everyone bash on DRock. I'm trying to please my woman. You know, it's my fiance, so I gotta make ends meet and keep that equal balance. So this way I don't get in trouble for getting in the woods.
Yeah, he missed out at Friday night in deer camp.
Yeah, deer camp, and you boys were Snapchatting away, doing God knows what. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, things get a little crazy, drinking that beer, doing our thing, you know. I was showing off some of the racks and some of the sheds and this, that, and the other thing to DRock, some of the things that he hasn't seen yet because he hasn't been to deer camp yet, so I just had to rub it in a little bit while he was out with his old lady.
Yeah, pressing on the wound, so to speak. I'm over there. Every time she looked away, I'm looking at Snapchat like, I wish I was there. She's like, what are you doing? Nothing, honey. Oh, man. But it's crazy, though, because date night ended at the brewery, and we got some grub real quick and went home. And I behaved myself. I did 122-ounce STEPPIN beer. And then, a little cowboy juice on the side. And then I went home, grubbed it up, and went to sleep at 12. Had to wake up at 1 so I could be at deer camp for 3 o'clock in the morning. Bro, had to drive there like hour and a half just to get out to East Bumblefuck Wynnum, out from the dirty water. You know, someone from inner city coming out to the dirt or to Wynnum. I'm like driving. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, where are these guys?
Yeah.
GPS,
I told you we were in the fucking sticks.
GPS was even cutting in and out. I'm like, oh boy.
Yeah, you know it's bad when GPS cuts in and out. That's because you went in the mountains.
So what we did actually, a little prepping. I want to take this step by step just so all the newbies get a good visual on how one way or 3 different ways meshed into one. Plans and preps for a strategy to get in the woods, because these are all new spots for all of us.
Yeah, these aren't normal spots that we hunted, and that actually kind of eases my mind a little bit when it came to not being able to seal the deal here this weekend. And it's okay. We learned a lot, and we meshed all 3 types of hunting. I mean, granted, me and Ryan both hunted together. He hunts my way because we hunt together our whole lives, but whatever. But DRock came into it, and it's definitely, he got to learn it also, and it was a blast. We had a really good time. We really, for what it was a great time.
It really was. And you know what? This is some good advice that I give to any newbie out there. You keep on hearing that crackling, right? I apologize to the listeners out there. We hear a little bit of crackling everywhere.
You sure it's not the crickets?
Nah, maybe. So let's not focus on that. But anyways, this is all new property to all of us. You and Ryan hit up a different honey hole that you guys got permission on, and then you guys put me up in another spot that's well respected, and only because I didn't have the same permission as you guys on the honey hole. But the way you want to prep and go into the woods every time is go in as an armed scout. Past episodes on different podcasts, this is something I stress enough, is don't get down in the dumps, so to speak, if you don't come out with something on your back or hauling something back. Because you know what? You go in as an armed scout. You go in there every time, you learn the area, and that's a great benefit, because then this way you can look for sign, you could change up strategy, and you could attack it even harder. Hard-earned bucks is what they say out Midwest. Shout out to Whitetail Experience. I mean, those boys know what they're doing. They're all public land as well, and that's the way to do it. Hard-earned bucks. So let's get to it. You guys brought me 10 minutes down the road, set me up in a nice patch of land, and dropped me off, and you guys took off. And I want to do this play-by-play, so this way our listeners get a good visual. You guys had to drive, 20 minutes from my spot to your spot?
Just about 20 minutes. It was a private land piece, big mountain, giant, on the river valley. Great spot. We're really excited about it. That's where that big 205-inch was shot in the past 5-10 years.
And that's CT.
That's Connecticut. So, and there was a 168 taken off of it, probably 5 years ago, from the gentleman who gave us the property, no longer really hunting. And, so we got there about 4:30 probably. No, 4 o'clock. We got there because we left, 3:30?
Yeah, you guys must have gotten there right around 4, maybe
about 4
after.
O'clock. We packed up and headed up the mountain, and at first we ended up with base layers, and I got about 100 yards from the truck, and I stopped Ryan. I said, "Dude, we gotta take a break." And actually, I think he was more or less the break, but whatever. So I ended up getting out of my base layers, and now I'm in my boxers. So then I got the 2 of us hiking up this fucking mountain with our packs on our back and our stands on our back. And we're in our fucking skivvies, hiking up this damn mountain, and, I mean, I knew it. I hiked this place about 10 times, and I knew what I was getting myself into. So we're in our skivvies. If anyone was ever to see us, I mean, I'm glad that the girls weren't out there on their fucking horses or anything else at 4 o'clock in the morning, because they would have thought it was some Brokeback Mountain shit and probably gave us a horse ride. So
people catching you on their trail cams out there were probably like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, look at these 2 crazy fucks.
Picking the wrong mushrooms.
Yeah. They've been out here for way too long.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So we end up getting up there. Ryan got to his spot. I broke off, went to mine. Not far from him, probably 100, 150 yards from him. And we ended up breaking off, setting up our spots, and going to town. And DRock will give you his story on his walk-in.
Well, yeah. So after you guys dropped me off, I did say in deer camp real quick, I'm like, oh man, like it's so early in the morning. It's not my schedule, bathroom schedule. Everyone knows and has their own bathroom schedule. So I'm off schedule. I'm like, oh man, that's what I'm thinking about, because I don't want to get caught up like Dougie Fresh out there in the Midwest in the stand and have to do the deed, you know. And so I take matters into my own hand, and like you guys left, I'm like, all right, I got to at least try, so this way I can get caught up in a bad situation. Did the deed, got geared up, got the clothes fresh out of the scent crusher bag. And actually, let's stick back a little bit. Before we hit up our spots, how'd you guys descent? Because I know everyone's curious, because everyone's got their own technique. You know, I cheated a little bit that night before date night. I went out and I hit the shower with scent crusher, soap and deodorant, and my clothes are running in the scent crusher duffel bag. And then on the way up there, I actually had the Ozone Go in my truck too, so hour and a half of Ozone Go too. What did you? Yeah. So I was smelling fresh as fuck when I got out the truck. What about you and Ryan though?
Yeah, I mean, like we had talked about in previous episodes. I mean, we're big on the washing down, the deodorant, descent, so on and so forth, washing your clothes, this, that, and the other thing. And I got lucky. I'm on the pro staff for Heated Hunts. So I got all my stuff came in the mail on Friday. It was great. So I got some of their cover scent with their decenter. So I was excited to use that. So I sprayed myself down in the morning with that. Ryan did the same, and we have our clothes in the in our totes with
like natural scent stuff, right?
Pine boughs, dirt, leaves, sticks, whatever we can get our hands on that's kind of in the area. I mean, I know I hunt one spot and I'll actually I'll wash my clothes in descenting, and then I'll hang it outside the wood stove, so it kind of gets that scent, so that one spot that I'm in, there's always a burning stove there in November during rut.
Right.
But I mean, that's how we went about the descenting. But descenting was a tough thing. I mean, unless you wore your scent crusher bag out into the fucking woods, you were definitely sweating and smelling. There was no breaks to that, dude.
Yeah, right.
We might as well have been in Florida.
Right. That's what field spray is for. But anyways, back to it. Come back into the spot where you guys dropped me off, and I had my own truck, so you guys kind of led me there. And, after I did the deed, got geared up and started walking the woods, and you were kind enough to show me a spot which we went over on some topo maps before we headed out of deer camp, and you showed me your spot. It was a good, I want to say maybe half-mile walk in and then half-mile walk to the left. And on a hot night, and I'm going in fucking blind. I don't know these woods at all. It's pitch black. I walk in, I'm like, yeah, these look like woods. Like, I have no clue what I'm doing. I got my GPS out just to find the coordinates. No lie, I walked about maybe 40, tops 50 yards. I want to say like 45 yards, and I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm starting to sweat too much, man. I'm going to get winded and bust a buck, and I'm just going to get busted. I'm like, let me just cut into Ryan's little close food plot to the right. He put a little mini plot, and I saw some bright eyes on a tree. I don't know if it was his or another hunter's, but I just cut into the woods to the right that way, and I started walking up, getting really close, and I just started sweating bullets. I'm like, yo, I can't do it. I gotta set up somewhere around here. I found a perfect tree. It was perfectly straight. I mean, it had a slight slant, but a perfect tree and a nice little clearing. I was probably on top of his food plot and didn't even know it, man.
Yeah, probably. Well, at least you got a straight fucking tree.
Yeah. You know what? Before we get to that, I want to get to that because this is part of Trev's bloopers. That
oh man,
yeah. I climbed my tree and it went smooth like butter, and I was actually expecting to fumble some stuff, but on the way there, I had a whole hour and a half trip driving there, and all I did was keep on running through the motions in my mind of how I was gonna attack it, what I was gonna do, because I'm going into a blind spot, pitch black. I don't know where I'm going. I only have coordinates, so I'm really trying to be adamant on, in my head, going through how I'm going to go about doing things. And you know what? That really helps getting that visual before you're actually in there in reality. And I hit the tree, went smooth like butter, was all geared up. And then we had our group text going. I set my coordinates, tell you guys where I'm at. I'm like, I'm good. I'm set up. Where you guys at? And then nothing.
Well, Ryan got back to you.
Yeah. It was a nothing at first because you guys had a longer hike. Yeah,
we had a fucking hike.
And Ryan already set up his tree stand prior.
Yeah,
but you were lugging yours in.
Yeah, his lucky ass had the day off prior and was able to set up his tree stand. So his stand was up in the woods. I thought that I was going to be able to swing it. I ended up having to go out fishing for work, and I wasn't able to get my stand up there.
Struggles.
Yeah, the struggles.
Fishing for work.
Yeah, like today, taking them damn golfers to Fisher's Island.
The hard life.
What a joke. Must be nice. Go fucking golfing.
Yeah, so getting back to, you guys got to the bottom of your tree, and I'm sure you guys didn't even check your phone yet, because...
No, I just climbed up, and I knew that where DRock was going to end up, for the most part. So I started climbing my tree. I knew Ryan was at his, and so I got up about 20, 25 feet.
But before that, what happened? Because you said it's some kind of S-bend tree, like...
Yeah, so it was a straight ass oak. It was perfect. I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing in the world. And so I get up there. I'm looking.
Why is that, though? Like an S tree, like everyone tends to, like myself, I only started deer hunting last season. I always hunted other big game. Now I'm on deer and I'm hooked. It's an addiction like fucking crack. and you're picking an S-bend tree. Like, tell us more about it.
It wasn't on purpose. So where I was, it was an intersection of two stone walls. It was absolutely perfect. Tons of sign. Ryan jumped some deer out of there. And we had picked up this property later on. And we actually we had no food plots in there. I had hiked it and scouted it prior once. Ryan once, but he was on the other end of it. We ended up, that was after we had gotten the permits. So we didn't have much time in there, so we kind of just wung it. Ryan was able to get in there, obviously, the night before, put his stand up, jump some deer, so I knew where to head to. So I was in an intersection of two stone walls, and I thought that I was actually close to off property, but come to find out, we actually weren't.
So tell us more about this S-bend tree, though, as you're climbing up.
So that's where I decided to go. So I didn't realize when you got up 25 fucking feet in this tree, there was a huge S-bend in it. And I don't know if you guys know with climbers, but it doesn't really work out well. You have to normally stagger yourself around the tree, up around it, and get on top of it. But I was already at max. So I staggered around it. Now I'm facing the wrong direction. I'm facing up the hill. And I set all in.
And your bottom climber was dropping out on you or something, right?
Well, no. So it was angled. It had a strong downward angle on it because of the S. So I was up on the top, down on the bottom. So I was like, whatever. I'll just angle around this tree, get all set up, bring up my bow, bring up all my gear, and
you were stressing something about tying the tops and bottoms.
Yeah, you definitely. That's another key thing, and it saved my ass. Was tying the top to the bottom. You're definitely in a climber. You definitely want to tie the top to the bottom. I was always taught that when I first started climber hunting, and it's
creep
something
and climb. Creep and climb. That's what we've been calling it.
Oh, yeah. Creep and climb. That's right. Yeah. So that was one thing I did. So anyway, so I had all my shit up the tree. I'm all ready to rock. It's dark as hell. Still got like an hour till light. Half hour, 45 minutes, and the bottom drops out on me.
No shit.
The bottom drops out.
You had
not
safety harness.
fully dropped out, but just not gripping right. I'm
just
sitting
slid
there
down a
and
bit.
It flipped down. I lost my angle, and that was it. So now I gotta hike the bottom back up. In the process, while I'm shifting around and shit drops out of the bottom, my fucking bow falls out my tree stand.
No shit.
Right out the tree stand, 25 feet. Right down, hits the ground. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? Finally, shabeam! So, you didn't wear that one, did you?
Nah.
So, I end up having to shimmy my way back down the tree. I had already had my bottom. Shimmy my way back down the tree. I'm getting, are you okay? Trev, are you all right? What's going on? I've only been in the tree set up for like 2 minutes. So I shimmy my way back down, get my stuff, retie everything up, get back up the tree. I didn't go all the 25 feet now that I know where the S is. I get underneath it, get all set up, prepped, ready, still dark. Get all set up, and here comes the sunrise. And not a single fucking deer. I sat. Yeah, so I just sat there and sat there and sat there.
Yeah, we get the point. You were sitting. So as you were sitting there, though, in the group text, Ryan, he shot you a text, and he did say that he saw the red light, and the air was so thick that red light looked like fire, he said. It was just glowing around.
I could only imagine.
Yeah. And then he actually shot a text like, yo, Trev, it looks like you're good in the tree. I think you could cut your white light, don't you think?
Then come to find out with it, he drops his headlamp out of the tree.
Right. So he had a fumble himself, slippery hands or whatnot, sweating our balls off, everything starts fumbling. And
it's opening day, mind you. It's opening day.
That's
we
where you
haven't been at this since fucking January.
Yeah.
It's been 9 months.
Yeah, that's where you want to make your mistakes.
Not really. We wanted blood on the ground, but if it happens, it happens. So he was...
Right. And then he dropped his headlamp, so he's out of his peripheral. He sees a little glowing light, and he did mention that he's like, is that my headlamp? And lo and behold, it's those glowing mushrooms that secrete that fluid.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that the people think that we were fucking eating when we're walking through on our skibbies.
Magic madness and commentary. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was definitely a crazy, crazy thing. And then you had some crazy things that ended up happening to you also.
Yo, I was tight.
We want to hear about this.
Tight about this. So I'm already set up like butter. I'm waiting for you guys to respond. You guys respond. I don't know what's going on exactly, but I knew you guys had a longer haul, and you guys got back to me, and then all of a sudden, it's still dark. It's like 5:30 max. And, the birds are starting to wake up. I hear other critters making all kinds of weird noises underneath my tree. And I can't see anything. All you do is
in the dirty water, you don't have critters.
Well, in the dirty water, you hear gunshots, firecrackers, crackheads getting beat up. And so, I don't know. All kinds of weird stuff. But
Arby's calling in.
Yeah, the Arby's, walk through or walk in. What a drive-through.
Yeah, drive-through.
Yeah,
Yeah, they walk through the drive-through. They can't buy cars.
And then, so I'm hearing all the little critters, right? And I hear something rustling in the distance. It had to be maybe 80 yards max. I'm like, all right, boys, good luck. I'm starting to hear movement because it definitely sounded like a deer. Or so I thought. And then I see this like faded green light in the distance. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? I'm like, are you kidding me? Another hunter is here? I'm like, I know this section is public land, but no one was. I was in the tree by 4 o'clock, and this dude is coming in at 5:30, spooking all the deer. Like,
of course,
this dude is obviously, and nothing against the newbies, but if you want to be successful, you want to be way in there before the deer wake up. Deer move at night, and the latest that I've seen is probably closer to 4, but those are big bucks. But not all deer. And on a regular basis, they're back in bedding around 3, 4 max, and that's when you want to get back into the tree. So this way you're ready and prepared for them to come out of bedding. And this guy's coming in with a green light, and I'm like, so naturally, he comes in about 60 yards from me. So close. And I was heated. So I, did a quick little flash and gave him a couple flicks of the flashlight just so he knows that I'm here and he could walk away and go set up somewhere else. What'd he do? I see the light turn off.
Gets closer.
Nah, he didn't get closer. Yo, I would have shot toward. No, that's not true. But in my head,
I would. You're Mexican.
If he was close enough, I would have shanked him.
Would have speared his ass out the tree.
But this dude turns off his light and he starts setting up, and he's clanking around like, oh my gosh, I'm a force ninja, and this dude is letting every critter in the woods know, and probably people passing by on the road know where he's at. It was killing me, dog.
Straight Michael Jackson dancing in the fucking woods.
I'm saying. Oh, man, it was killer. So he finally gets up in his tree and whatnot. I'm like, well, at least he's being quiet now. And we just waited and waited and sat and sat.
We get it. You fucking sat.
Yeah. And just nothing. We're bouncing texts back and forth. And, long story short, we did the first shift, the morning hunt, and nothing.
But we waited. I thought it was going to happen, man. I really, truly, honestly believed that it was going to happen. From the trail cam pictures on the off season, constantly, day in and day out, morning, night, afternoon, morning, night, afternoon. it constantly was happening on all of our trail cameras. I don't get it. And that's part of it. And anybody that tells you that they go out hunting and they kill something every single time, they're fucking lying.
Oh yeah,
they
without
are
a doubt.
Fucking lying.
Or they're hunting high fence. Either way.
Yeah, high
Either way.
fence. Yeah,
Yeah.
give me in on some of that high fence.
But it's funny you bring that up, actually. And we were so confident between the three of us, one of us is going to have blood on the ground.
If you saw the text message, you would have thought that we were professionals.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't go that far. Bunch of hooligans in the woods. But anyways.
We brought the dirty water.
Yeah, I tainted the woods. That's what the deer knew. They smelt the city.
They're
smelled
like,
the
the Mexican.
And they're like, oh, ese. But anyways, you brought up that we were going to make it happen and it didn't. But you know what? I strongly believe, and this is me just hitting the books hard, doing my homework, listening to podcasts, reading a lot of material, watching hunting beast videos. I mean, the works. Anything I could get my hands on, I'm trying to learn. And I strongly believe that deer with low visibility at night ain't moving.
Right.
And I really think that's what happened because it was so foggy and so dense the air.
And we had a new moon, too.
Exactly.
Whether, depending on what you believe in and what, the full moon and this, that, and the other thing.
I believe in that stuff too, though.
No,
but
totally, I agree.
It's all on a clear or cloudy day because low visibility, I mean, they know there's predators out there. They ain't trying to get snagged up.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. And we had the new moon, which means it was the darkest of the moon phases. So it definitely made things a little bit tougher. I mean, it kind of blows me away with all the work that we had put in and all the population of all the deer that are around and the things that it just didn't happen. But it
you
is
know
what it is.
No. But again, though, I can't stress it enough. It's like that's hunting, and you ain't always gonna get something.
Right.
Plain and
this
simple.
ain't fishing.
Yeah,
well, you ain't fishing with me. That's what I mean.
So long story short, at the end of the first shift, the morning hunt. It was already, 10:30-ish, something like that. And, and I was just like, all right, boys, well, this is it. Let's regroup and everyone take a selfie and post it on social media. And so I take mine like a dumbass. I look like a little ninja with glasses. Trev, I saw yours. You're a little stud.
It didn't
giving
look
up
like
the
that.
goat sign. And then I'm waiting for Ryan. And he didn't do it. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Well,
whatever. Let's regroup. So we head back to deer camp and we regroup. Cool down. Re-descent with our gear, putting it back in totes, and me running the scent crusher bag, and we're all trying to cool down and get comfortable and come up with a better game plan for round 2. And that's what brings us to second shift, the afternoon hunt. We're going over maps again because. Now this time we're going to be in the wood. All three of us going to be in the woods that I was at.
Yeah, and we decided we were going to change things up. I mean, so our game plan from the beginning was to hunt where we had sent DRock. I mean, that was the game plan from the beginning until we had gotten the permission slip that we had gotten. We weren't even thinking, until midweek, we weren't going to go there. And to the spot that me and Ryan ended up going for the morning shift. And we were going to go where we sent DRock. And we almost thought against that for the afternoon. We were thinking about going somewhere else. So there was a lot of change in our mind. And then we went back where DRock went. And we just, Ryan hiked in fucking 2 miles, of course, sweated his balls off for no goddamn reason.
Wait, before we get to that. You're on a roll. You're on a roll right now.
I'm sorry.
It's all good.
I'm pumped, man. It's fucking deer season.
I know. Everyone
How does it get better than this? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I got tomorrow off. It's going to fucking rain. Let me get somewhere.
I know you going out there. Yo.
I'm going to try for the afternoon tomorrow. Definitely the afternoon.
Well, for all you newbies out there, if you want to get scouting, rain is your friend. It brings scent down and brings hearing down. They can't hear you and they can't smell you as good.
Well, not even that. I mean, you're definitely right with that. No questions asked. It definitely keeps the scent down and the sound down. But if you're gonna go into a new property, and this is always something that I've done over the years, was I bring my stands in when it's raining. So like if I'm gonna set a new set, especially being a state land junkie that I am, I will get into some of those spots like tomorrow morning, early morning, if it's raining the way it should be. I'll take a couple of my climbers and I'll disperse them out throughout the state land to get myself ready for the season. Or I mean for this weekend. And what I'll do is when it's raining, I'll hike into the woods. That would keep my scent, almost gone.
Right.
And everything will be a new scent. So now I got tree stands, 3 tree stands around the state in these state land parcels that I can put my stands in. Then it will rain, clean everything out, and then I'll be there on Saturday.
Again.
And then my sweaty fat ass will be up in the tree and things will be great. That's just how we roll.
Oh, man. So after our game plan and we go over locations and where each one of us is going to set up, we decided to kind of make a Bermuda Triangle, so to speak, in those woods.
Yeah, no, that's the truth.
and you know what? We stayed by water sources, by the swamps. You went to your first initial spot you wanted me to go to that I was having it at first. But now with daytime, it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, you missed out, man.
Hey,
there was a bunch of sign there. No,
I'm just saying I didn't see the sign in pitch black in the morning.
Of course,
but
not.
now with daylight, it's a whole different ball game. We got our eyes open.
Hold on, time out. What did you think about the spot that we sent you to? Now that you've seen it you saw it during the night. You crossed into that land, and then later on that day, I mean, obviously there was some thoughts going through your head, like, "Oh, where the fuck did they send us?" But then in the afternoon, when you had gone there and you had walked up those paths. And you got in the spots. What did you think then? You're like...
Well, I actually started seeing even more sign, to be very honest. Because all I saw was some sign, and then I didn't even see the food plot in the middle of the night. But I was seeing mushrooms here and there. I'm like, in my head, like the Mexican that I am, I'm like, oh, there's some nice mushrooms here. I can pick later, man. On the way out, maybe I fill my basket, and it's pretty good. But going back in the afternoon with you guys... And this is the funny part, though, fellas. Like, they told me they were down in the... For our listeners out there, they told me earlier they were down
There's not many of them.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm telling you, all 4 listeners now. Because we
lost 3 because you talked about Trump.
And me being Mexican, so yeah. Trumps and Mexicans, they just don't mix. I don't know.
He made the border.
They just can't keep me out. But, so we're going in and... talking about the skibbies, right? So I'm laughing. I don't even want to picture it. But these dudes, we're going in. I got a mesh suit. I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, and then I put my ghillie suit over. But it's like a fishnet,
right?
So it's complete. It's almost like wearing nothing.
So you thought you were at the Electric Blue with your fishnet?
Yeah, fuck you, motherfucker. But anyways, so these guys, talking about Electric Blue, these guys, all right, let's get ready. They take their fucking clothes off. Trev's down to his fucking boxers, and Ryan's down to his fucking skin-tight leggings. He's got camouflage leggings on. I'm like, what the fuck? And these guys are shirtless, and they're, all right, let's go. So I'm like, yeah, you guys go up ahead, because I don't know if they're trying to, what they're thinking. So I'm staying behind just
bring
in
this
case
Mexican into the woods.
yeah. Right. 2 white Americans bringing a Mexican into the woods. Yeah, I'll stay in the back, guys.
And if you guys don't know what the Electric Blue is the local strip club here in Connecticut.
just for you guys know, maybe we'll get a sponsor there. Lap dances
Electric
for everyone.
Blue. Yeah. Shameless plug.
Yeah. Well, no, shameful plug there.
Yeah, shameful plug.
So back to it. Back to it is so Trev and Ryan are in their skibbies, and we have this triangle, Bermuda Triangle set up, and our strategy seems almost flawless. We're seeing sign everywhere. We walk in, I want to say, just past a half mile. Trev breaks off to the left to his original spot. I go up not even an eighth of a mile more. I break off to the right, and the swamp is literally between us in the triangle. Ryan takes off north, or actually, in this instance, facing the map, it was east, but to us, he's creating the top of the triangle, and we all set up.
Which he's trying to go to an Oak Ridge. On the
other side of the swamp. Right.
So there's multiple swamps throughout, smaller pond swamp areas. So there's one big, huge swamp that breaks up the whole entire parcel. DRock would be on the south side of it. Ryan's on the north side of it, and I'm on the southeast side of the swamp. So I'm on the point of it. So we make a huge triangle. And then DRock had some crazy shit happen.
That's what I'm saying. We're all sitting there again, man. It is a beautiful day. It's just so hot, but very, very gorgeous day out. And we're blessed to get out there and learn the woods a little more. You guys know it like the back of your hand. I'm starting to, now with daylight, I can see what the hell I'm doing. And actually, it made sense. And it seems so flawless. I'm like, oh, we're definitely getting blood now. We're definitely going to do it.
Especially with 3 people spread out the way that we were.
And we have more incentive now. Like, we want more, bloodthirsty material for the podcast. So this way we could bring some good luck to our podcast and we could spread the love,
I was hoping that we were all going to sit up here with Indian striped fucking blood across our eyes.
Something, right? I'm down for it.
Yeah, right?
So I'm sitting in the tree, and it's over another little food plot that Ryan did his work, man. Another little food plot over where Ryan set up, and there's 2 hemlocks off to the side, and I picked the perfect tree so I can shoot in between the hemlocks, in between the left side of where I'm sitting. For all you newbies, when you're up there in the tree, you want nice, clear shooting lanes, no twigs in the way. But what's nice is you want to get over that cover brush. And what I mean by that, there's shorter trees or branches that give you good cover that eliminate the vision, and you get above that. So that's why sometimes it's good to go higher or lower depending on where that cover is.
Yeah, sometimes, I like to shoot for that 25-foot range.
That's a good range,
yeah. But I'll tell you what, when you get to that 25, it's almost, sometimes it's too much. And then now you're in the tops of the trees, depending where you are. And
depending where the deer are coming from, too, because you don't want too sharp of an angle.
But if you have, like you're saying, the cover brush, if you're at the bottom of you're over the cover brush and them deer break through, then, you have your shot. That could be 18 to 20 feet. But then sometimes if you're in that swamp area, you get in that 25, you're in the tops of the fucking trees.
Right.
They don't get that tall. So you gotta, everyone says higher the better. Yeah, your thermoclimbs, this, that, blah, 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 blah.
But on heavy, dense air, that you might have to.
Now it's sucking. Down.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So if you're too high, it's bringing your scent all the way down. But that's another episode. We'll go over that.
I know,
more
but
tactical. This getting back to it is so I'm all set up between these hemlocks over the food plot, and I got perfect shooting lanes all the way around. I shoot you guys texts. We're all bouncing texts all around, trying to get any kind of like, yo, you got movement. Then all of a sudden, what do I hear? Big movement in the swamp, and you could tell it's a big animal. Shopping. Drink it. Oh, making a mess in the SLAYIN studio.
Yep, fucking covered.
Taking baths and
yo,
the Shabin beer.
Up, dude? What the hell? Man, I'm covered. Yeah.
Yo, this guy loves Shabin so much. He's bathing in it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Shabin all the way.
I'm telling you, man. It's been a crazy weekend.
I can't
I swear.
I told you it's a fucking adventure. But don't you listen?
Nah, I didn't shake it up much.
No. Yeah, right? I think it's because I got that.
Yeah, you waited too long for that.
Yeah,
being too dramatic.
Yeah, I guess so. I got covered in it. Whatever.
So I hear this big animal moving around in water. I'm like, oh, shit. We didn't hear nothing all day. Except for little critters. Like I had 5 squirrels making a ruckus. Squirrels sound big in the woods. And then, the douchebag. Like, that's all I heard all morning. And here we are in the afternoon. I hear this huge animal moving around the swamp. Almost like swimming. And then every once in a while, you hear him come out of the water. And I say him, but I really don't know. I hear it come out of the water and shake like a wet dog. Like he was trying to dry himself off. Like
I think it was a mouse.
Hell no. No, this was a beast. Whatever it was big. If it wasn't a deer or a buck, hopefully a buck, excuse me, it was a bear. So it was one of those things. And I didn't know what it was. But
there's no bear in the mountains.
You never know.
It was that elusive mountain lion.
Nah, we have black bears.
The Connecticut
galore.
Mountain lion.
Yeah, right.
I'm going with it.
Maybe a cougar.
It's your story. Tell it however you want.
Yeah. It was probably just Ryan.
Yeah,
dipping in his leggings in the swamp.
Yeah. He was
cooling off.
Dancing.
Yeah. Dancing in his leggings.
He was erotic dancing.
But on a serious note, man, so I'm getting excited. I'm getting pumped. I'm texting you guys, and you're like, no shit. You text me back, no shit. Did you see him? Did you see him? I'm like, no. I'm like, no, I don't see him.
Maybe I was thinking maybe he like ran in front of you, hit up the swamp.
Yeah, what were you thinking, though?
there was a lot of thoughts in my mind. I'm thinking that this big ass deer is like rolling in the mud like a big ass hog or something. I don't know what to think, but I just wanted it to happen. That's all I wanted. I just wanted it to happen.
We all did,
I didn't
brother.
care how it was, what happened. I just wanted it to happen. I wanted that thing to be in your lap, and then it come through for all the time and the research that we had put into this property, that it just had connected. We had an 8-pointer on camera. We had multiple smaller bucks on camera. I'm like, this isn't out of reach for this place, you know? So like it could definitely it was very realistic for what could actually happen.
So it seemed like every half hour on the half hour, it seemed like this animal was doing the same thing, because it was a hot day. Like, I was getting kind of jelly, man. This dude's cooling off. I'm over here sweating closer to the sun, melting away like Cupid's fucking wings. And this animal just keeps on teasing me, and we're just sitting there. Nothing's happening. So I break out the doe bleat call. And I know it might be way too early for that, but just to attract
it's
them.
not really that early.
Season, right?
I'll tell you, because
tell the listeners
in the beginning of the day, our boy Matt, who's a really close buddy of ours, he texted me that morning. He had a smaller doe fawn in the plot that was actually bleating. And he's texting me, and he's like, "Dude, this thing just made the craziest noise." And I'm like, "What was it?" He said, "Bah." I said, "Come on, really?
Fucking sheep?"
Yeah, I guess. And it was a doe bleating to the mama deer, and she was on the edge of the food plot, and the fawn was in the middle of the food plot, and she was calling herself in. He's like, "Oh my god, it just made all this kinds of noise." So it's a normal early season noise that happens, So it wasn't a wrong play. I wouldn't go slamming horns together in the beginning of the season, but some will.
Right, you don't want to go too early with the Rex. Maybe I want to say October-ish, mid-October, late October, to get them a little riled up. But you don't want to go too aggressive. But that's that's another episode.
No, but I mean, like, we have some velvet horns, not velvet horns, but stripped velvet horns that will kind of like tickle together. You got to tickle that pickle. Sometimes
there's nothing wrong with a little pickle tickling.
Yeah, pickle tickling. It happens.
So back to this animal, right? So we waited and waited, and I tried the doe bleat. I tried to do the doe bleat, and nothing, man. I wasn't getting nothing. No reaction. Only movement from afar from the water. Like, you could tell he was reacting a bit, or it was reacting a bit, but I don't know to what exactly. So I texted you guys. I'm like, what do you guys think? You think I should just climb down, start stalking? And I don't hear anything for a while from the text. And then I text again. I'm like, yo, I think I'm going to go stalk.
What do you think? We just set up on our fucking tree stands reading our text messages?
Hell yeah, we ain't hearing shit. I saw you liking posts on Instagram. And
what else am I supposed to do up there?
I'm telling you, what did your wife say on the other?
Yeah. So my wife got into me, Michelle. She got into me something fierce. So she had texted me. She said, "What the fuck is the point of being in the tree if you're only going to be on your phone?" And I mean, I agree with hers, but I mean, let's go back to that text message. Let's go back to that text message. I really want to see what she's got to say.
I blew up your spot.
Hold on. Of course you fucking did. Thanks, DRock.
That's
Mexican got after me again.
I'm good for that essay. I notice everything, man.
Yeah.
But so we're sitting there, and everyone's on their phone because we're not getting any kind of movement, and I'm the only one hearing stuff. So we finally get some kind of movement of sound.
Yeah,
and I'm texting you and Ryan, and Ryan's hitting me back. He's like, really? He's like, yo, where do you think he is? Because I'm on the Oak Ridge. I'm like, I know you on the Oak Ridge. And then I'm just... Jigga. But, and Trev's like, can you see him? Can you see him? I'm like, no, I think I'm going to get down and stalk him. So
right.
I just went, actually, you found that text?
Yeah, I found it. I said, good morning. She says, how's it going? I said, good, waiting for the sun to come up. She said, hi. Hi, just got to work. I said, wow, you're fucking early for once. Less phone, more deer watching, she says. I said, LOL. I said, you telling me how to hunt? She says, yeah, put your damn phone down. I said, you must really want me to get that meat. She said, well, what's the point of being in the phone if you're going to sit? I mean, what is the point of being in your stand if you're going to talk on the phone the whole time?
And we don't have to reiterate the last comment that you gave back to her. But long story short is she wants the blood on the ground.
Yeah.
And we're getting support from everyone, so we're trying to make it happen.
I'll tell you what, that girl, she sits in the Euro shop day in and day out. She skins deer when I get behind. There was a point that I had actually cut my finger, and she was in the deer stand. That girl, for the past 5 years that we've been together, she's worked inside of the butcher shop, packaging meat for us at the family farm, packaging at the butcher shop. So, I mean, she fucking lives it just like we do. She just don't shoot the deer, you know? So, it's one of those things.
Hey,
and she's on her asses, man. She wants us to shoot deer.
That's what I'm saying. That's a good woman.
Not just
right
me, just you, Ryan, everybody. She wants everyone to shoot deer and put deer on the ground.
That's a good woman. That's a good woman. I see why you put a ring on it.
Yeah.
So back to the stories. I climbed down the tree. I'm like, I'm going in. So by the time I get down, which is not long, I get, the group text is blowing up. Get them for real. You see everything. Go get them, send them my way, everything. Push them my way. But we weren't coordinating a push, just for the record, because in Connecticut, you cannot coordinate electronically a hunt to take deer down. So make things clear, we weren't doing that. All I said is I'm going to get down and stalk them. Because I'm hearing something. Ryan don't know what I'm talking about. Trev don't know what I'm talking about. But they have a general idea of where I'm hearing this deer. And as soon as I get down, confirmation is I hear the low grunt. I'm like, oh shit, it's a deer. And because he heard me get down here, probably a little bit of clanking, and I was so quiet. But then when I
thought you were the Mexican ninja.
I am. But even a Mexican ninja sleeps a little bit, sir. And he heard the hanging clip. I take it off my bow, and it did the little, and that's when I heard the grunt. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, there is a deer there. So I start, no lie, it took me about, I want to say a good 15 minutes to travel about 50 yards.
Sweating your balls off.
Oh my God, was I sweating. I left everything behind and went in a straight line to where I was hearing it. This way it'd be easy to get back. Because mind you guys, for all you new guys out there, I did not know where I was in these woods. But I have a good sense of direction. I just made it easy for myself. And I pinpointed the location where I was at before leaving, just for safety's sake. So this way I can retrack and restep. But I get to the swamp, and all I hear is the noise again, swishing around, and he went silent.
Do you know how much of a ninja DRock is?
Dude, I'm telling you.
He's even wearing camouflage shoes.
I'm telling you.
He's got the camouflage shoes in the studio.
I'm footless.
That's how fucking ninja he is right now.
I'm telling you, man. I got a camo hat and camo shoes. You don't see my feet or my forehead.
That's right. He's out. He's fucking out.
So I get to this swamp and he just went silent. So I wait because he was every half hour in the hour, and I wait a half hour getting torn up by mosquitoes because I left my thermosol in the backpack. I was like, damn. I wish I brought my thermosol, but that would have probably worked against me on the scent because I smell that thermosol, so I know the deer do too. And I'm just waiting, nothing. Half hour goes by, I'm like, yo, I text Ryan and Trev, I'm like, I'm not hearing nothing, man. What about you guys? So what were you guys thinking? At this point, what were you thinking?
Yeah, man, I thought that it was going to happen. I'm waiting for that text message that, DRock fucking stuck him. And it didn't come. Sadly enough, it didn't come. But I really, honestly, truly was batting for him. Hearing those noises and going for it. I thought he was going to stick it. I really, truly, honestly thought that he was going to stick something. It sucks. It sucks, man.
But it's so much fun, though.
No, it really, truly, honestly is. I mean, there was no lack of time. We put in our time this weekend.
Hardcore hunting.
Yeah, I mean, like Ryan. Look at him. His pussy ass is sleeping right now.
That's right, Ryan. But you know what? Again, we tip our hats off him because he wanted it so bad to have the content for the episode.
Yeah, and he was texting me all day. He's like, yo, you better get ready to cut up a deer. We gotta quarter this thing as fast as we possibly can.
Yo, I was ready
to happen.
Until sunrise. I was ready to record until sunrise to make this happen. Cut up the deer, process it, but
Yeah, I mean,
Hey.
you know, and going back to how hardcore that he is, he went into the woods. He hiked up to our spot this morning to find out that he forgot his arrows at home.
No!
Yeah, that really happened. He texted me this morning when I was headed to the boat. He's texting me at like 6 o'clock in the morning. He said, drove all the way to the spot this morning and realized I left my quiver at home.
Damn.
You know,
See,
and
even
it
the best of us.
happens.
See, that's where
That's
it's very
real
important.
life. That's
Yeah.
real life.
It's really important too for the new guys. I mean, everyone has a routine, right? But you're gonna make mistakes. So don't beat yourself up, but don't be lazy.
You're not perfect.
Nah. But get
it's
into
real.
your routine. Everyone finds their own routine, and you got to go through that.
I
Your
mean,
own mental checklist.
How many times yourself did you forget something? I mean, I've had it happen 1,000,001 times. I forgot my release. Now I have a spare release in my backpack. I don't leave home without it. You know, I always mount it around my stabilizer. My release is always there, but if I forget it, there's one in my backpack. Arrows, not so much. I've forgotten my arrows 1,000,001 times. As you all know, it's a fucking adventure when you hunt with me. It's a straight adventure. I mean, I go to work, and I mean, that's not really work, but we're fishing. But, you know, like today, I get there, and there's a bucket in the water.
That's a long day, man. And then you go from that to the podcast or that to hunting. It's like...
It's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, the things... We're human. We're
We're
not
blue-collared.
professional.
Blue-collared.
We're not anybody special. We live it, breathe it, and dream it. I mean, this is what we do.
Mostly
know?
dream it. Sometimes we get to live it.
we definitely
when
fucking
we're blessed,
dream
we
it.
live it.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. You know, between that, the Euro shop, and fishing every day and whatnot. And, you know, Ryan, like himself.
What are you, Luke Bryan?
Yeah, I wish.
No, you don't.
I'm
No, you
not
don't.
famous at all. I'm a nobody. Let's not get it twisted here.
Nah,
We
when I
just-
saw you in
we-
your
we
skibbies,
push
man,
it.
I'm like, this dude's going to be somebody.
I'm no Calvin Klein
Any man-
fucking model here,
Yo,
you know?
any man that gets down to skibbies and is
We're just
shameless
living it,
about it,
man.
I'm like, wow, this dude loves hunting.
We just
For real.
living it, bro.
For real.
You know, I've been doing it such a long time, and that's another thing. You know, like with having Michelle in the Euro shop and stuff. At first, it was a tough thing because she's not born around that. Like you know, like someone like yourself getting into it and stuff. It's not an easy thing, and seeing the blood, the guts, the glory. It's right. The blood, the guts, and then the glory.
That's the
It
thing
happens,
about it.
bro.
Yeah, that's the
You
thing
know,
about it
it's
is we
not
get
an
out
easy
there.
thing, you know, and you got to live it, breathe it, and dream it. It's not an easy thing. I mean, yeah, there's the people that go out there and they shoot their deer, and it's great and it's awesome, and you know, there's guys that shoot the 10-pointers, the 12-pointers for their first deer, but you
Lucky bastards.
yeah, it
I congratulate
happens.
them though, you know.
But then they go in the woods and they're like, yo, this isn't that easy. No, it's not that fucking easy.
It ain't.
If it was that easy, then I would never do it.
Dude, it took me
I would
3
never
months
do
to
it.
get a tenner.
I can't believe you got a tenner.
Well, I'm just saying, it's just I did my homework, man, and it
Yeah.
boils down to how bad you want it.
I agree.
I was dreaming about it. I was
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it. I would play it play by play in my head all the time, and it just happened. It just happened.
Let's not get it twisted. I've never shot a giant in my life.
That was
never.
no giant, but
No.
I might have made Pope and Young for all you people out there. Look
Yeah.
me up, 0708.
125 inches.
Yeah.
But I'll tell
Bring
you.
me your trophies. I'll
That's
measure them
right.
up.
And I've never been a trophy hunter. I'm not a big trophy hunter. Yes, I would love to shoot a giant to put on the wall.
We're gonna make it happen. Man.
Oh, no, we're definitely going to make it happen. But, I mean, last year, I rattled in my first buck of my life. And it was a great thing. It was a smaller 6-pointer.
Isn't it a
great.
cool experience, though?
It was a great experience. And, you know, I took that deer at 25 yards. It was a great fucking thing. I'll tell you. It was an experience. I was
Probably
definitely
tasted
by
delicious.
myself. Yeah, it was definitely delicious. And that's all that really matters. But then later on in November, I rattled in his twin
Why
brother.
are you talking to that mic, brother?
All right, I'll talk. So I rattled in his brother. It was a twin 6-pointer, same property, same
Not his
everything.
cousin, but his brother.
Maybe could have been his cousin brother, but so I rattled this deer and I
MS
ended up
13.
passing on him, and this was early November, And later on that month, around Thanksgiving, I sat in the same exact stand, and I ended up calling in an even bigger buck. It was a nice 8-pointer, and I fucking missed. I missed. Yes, I missed.
How
dude.
far away?
It was probably 35 yards.
Really?
Yeah, I missed. I took the old chip and miss, and
What, high or low?
I was definitely low.
Really?
Yeah.
So what
happened?
happened?
I misguided the yardage.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't have your rangefinder? Or?
I didn't even take I didn't even take it out to range it. So I seen him coming. He's coming at me, and head down. He's just bucking the wind, dude. Yes, bucking the wind. And he's got his nose down. He's coming right at me. All I see is rack, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take him. You know, and not being a trophy hunter, it was a nice 8-pointer. He gets about broadside, about 35 yards, and I said, I'm gonna take the shot. I go to take the shot. I miss. And I skipped Thanksgiving dinner to shoot this deer. And I missed this deer.
Oof.
It is what it is. So I went in there with some active scrape. Went in there, set up a scrape. He hit it that night. I'm like, holy shit, this is the same deer? So I get pictures of this deer. I hunted that deer for the rest of the season. And I'm kind of thankful that I have. I'm hoping by the end of the season this year that I get another opportunity at that deer. I'm not being a trophy hunter, but just if it happens, it happens. I'd love to shoot a big deer to put on the wall, and shooting his brother the year prior was great, you know. So there's definitely some good genetics, and we're hoping to get on that deer again. We'll see what happens.
Yo, the deer are here. The bodies. Yeah, the bodies. The funny part is the bodies are comparable to out Midwest. They are big. It's just the horn genetics. It is different. And you do see some big horn deer out here, but I think it's just such a clusterfuck of people out here, all doing the same thing, along with poachers. Yes. I strongly believe the poachers are at a maximum rate on the coast.
Well, the state makes it so easy to become a poacher. I hate to say it like that.
No, but it's true because there's so many people.
The Department of Environmental Protection. I truly am. I mean, they're the ones that give me my taxidermy license every single year. But on the same token, they make everything so easy to be able to take these deer. That's not
without
funny.
anyone knowing, too.
Right. I mean, we have an electronic online system that if you shoot a deer, that you have 24 hours to report this.
Right.
And in 24 hours, I can have this thing cut up and disappeared.
Exactly.
You know, so they make a law-abiding citizens.
Citizens, he meant to say.
That's what I meant to say. Elijah, yeah. Thank you for that.
Yeah, Elijah stepping in for that one.
Excuse me. And they just make the law-abiding citizens poachers at that point.
It's crazy because someone on the last day of hunting day can take something down and then 24 hours later actually probably shoot something and then still claim it.
Yeah, I mean, but
that's fucked up.
They are on top of it. I'll tell you this, is that they are on top of it. There was many stories throughout the season that these guys would be followed into the woods later on in the morning, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, that the Department of Environmental Protection wardens would go into the woods and they would find these people that didn't have written out tags. And that's one of the keys, is that you have to carry those tags with you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, no matter what. And you have to fill them the fuck out.
Yeah.
Fill them out. It's not hard. You know, and these guys lost a 10-pointer and a doe on the same day because they didn't fill out their tags.
That's crazy.
You know, now those guys that are law-abiding citizens are now poachers. You know, and they make it a little bit tougher, but you know, these are the rules that we have to abide by, no matter what.
Yep.
It doesn't matter.
I hear you. So we got a little sidetracked, but
we definitely did.
No, that's good information though. You know, people want to hear that stuff because that's all relative and current right now.
Well, when I shoot that giant 10-pointer, they're gonna know where it came from.
that one was from Dirty Water too. That one that.
Oh, yours?
Yeah, that was from the Dirty Water. Yep.
Well, not even that, but that 8-pointer that I missed last year, he's probably 10 this year.
That's what I'm saying.
What?
What?
I haven't been on that property yet this year.
So after all said and done, getting back to the stories, we couldn't. Long story short, not for nothing, we couldn't find the fucking buck in the swamp. He just went silent. He either saw me or winded me, and he just stayed silent. And I wasn't prepped to go. I almost went into the swamp, but when he went silent, I knew something was up. He knew I was there. So if I were to go into the swamp, all would happen is I would push him, create pressure, and ruin it for us. For
let's be honest. He's definitely smarter than you.
Oh, without a doubt, bro. Well, I barely.
I don't mean to bring you down to that level, but man, I'm just saying.
The only reason I didn't continue college is because I lost my scholarship for football, not education. Man.
Well, me, and Ryan both. Me, you, and Ryan both.
I'm running bull, not running straight A's.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was a lot of fun, and I texted you guys because when I was looking for this swamp buck, it was later in the day. I even called it the 1 hour left in the group text. And I went and tried to stalk him.
Well, it was
I saw Ryan's footsteps. Yeah.
It's all or nothing, dude.
Right. And I tried to make it happen, and we just couldn't. So I started walking back to the truck. I let you guys know. And I made it to the truck. I was actually very comfortable and cool by the time you guys got out. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to Packy. What do you guys want? It was a long day. I need a fucking drink.
We celebrated.
Yeah. It was a good day, man.
It is what it is. I mean, we put in the time, we put in the effort. It was all there, you know. We're still in the beginning. We have until January 1st in some of the zones
11 and 12. Yeah.
Well, those comes zones 11 and 12.
Or
that goes from
land,
January till February.
Right.
So, I mean, we have until February 31st to kill a deer.
In zones 11 and 12.
But this will be the most boring fucking podcast if we don't kill a deer in between now and the end of February.
Oh, we're getting something.
Oh, you know it's going to happen.
It's only been 3 days and you and I only hunted one day.
Yeah, I know. Well, Ryan hit it hardcore. He had some crazy scenarios today. So I gotten a text message from him stating that he at about 6 after 10 this evening when the deer are moving, he had a side-by-side run up on him.
I know, man. Public land. These side-by-sides and,
But you know what? We can make it happen in state land, and it's fucking worth it. I'll tell you, I killed one of my biggest turkeys this year on state land. Double-bearded turkeys.
Mine was actually, the one that I got this year was actually private land, but it was right next to public land. Like, on the other side of the power lines.
That's what I'm saying. They're there. It happens. There's some big deer. We had a bunch of buddies from ctbohun.com. I won't mention no names, but they shot a 167 and 5/8 off of state land with a drop tine last year. Damn. There was multiple 140s, 150s shot off of state land.
And this is Connecticut.
They're fucking there. I mean, they're there, but you got to put in your time. You got to put in your effort. You got to get away from everybody else. DRock, he just couldn't get out the truck. You know what I'm saying? It happens. It happens. It was 100 degrees.
That's crazy.
We'll see what happens next weekend.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And not only that, though, the great part about this, especially for me, I can't speak for yourself or Ryan, but I got to learn these woods.
Try.
Nah. Well, maybe I should, because Elijah's stepping in hard.
Yeah, that's right.
So maybe...
And that shebeen.
Yeah, that shebeen beer, thank you. It's keeping me...
alive.
Yeah, and hydrated of sorts. I just got to drink more to stay hydrated. But it's hot as fuck in here. In the studio, but we're making it happen, and what we take out of the woods for that unsuccess, well, that's what I'm saying. For the unsuccessful harvest, we had a successful scouting trip, and that's what I take away from the woods.
I agree.
We saw a lot of sign, and I think next time we'll get another trifecta even tighter to that swamp, but we need to do it in the morning this time.
No, I totally agree. I like you're saying that it's bound to happen.
Right.
It's just being in the right place at the right time.
Yo, because I feel at night, these deer specifically, I learned a lot. I feel at night, they're going to venture closer to the road and go to the river before,
yeah.
Because they're not feeding
totally
at
agree.
night.
It's just crazy. I mean, we had that weird snap. We had the storm front. I mean, Flo is about to hit us fucking broadside. It's gonna be crazy, and the deer woods is definitely gonna be out of control. There's a bunch of people across the state that are shooting deer. I mean, our buddies Mike, Captain Mike Secaucus, he killed a decent 8-pointer today. That storm front, it's different. They
sense
weird.
it. We don't.
Yeah. And we don't know it.
Right. Right.
If I knew what they were thinking, that I would kill a deer every single time I was in the woods.
And we'd be getting paid for it. But until then, we'll keep on striving for that day. So we had a really good episode, man. We covered a lot of ground. Had a lot of helpful hints. Helped out a lot of newbies and oldies out there. Fuck you, douchebag, that blew up my spot. And just
fuck you.
No.
Let's add to it.
That hard.
Let's add to it.
Not that hard,
even
though.
that. He got on social media and blew up a public fucking spot.
I know.
He blew up a public spot.
His
was
spot
on killed the shit out of it.
He really did. He really did.
You know, and he got within 80 yards of you.
He's going to
and
stay.
Blew it up.
He's going to remain nameless, but he did go on social media and said where he was. He was wearing orange, left an orange flag on the tree he was in. And in rifle season, that's very smart.
Yeah, he
but
did a great thing.
This is bow season. I mean, it's
not even that. You know that he was a newbie, and not mean to cut you off, but you knew that he was a newbie because he said, "What are the laws about wearing orange during bow season?"
Yeah, and you know what? It's okay. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to make mistakes.
You gotta learn.
If you see a flashlight shining you down,
get the fuck out the way.
Walk the other way. Find another tree, please.
Watch out. You're gonna Mexican is on it.
Yo, I'll shank you, but for real. For real. I'm just joking. I won't shake anyone. But in my head, I will. I'll go crazy. But
Ludicrous, move out the way.
Move.
Get out the way.
I'm just
We're about to kill shit.
I'm saying it's just for the future. For you, all you people out there, you see someone shining you down, just go the other way. It'll be better for you and that person. So this way you have a higher chance of taking something down. So on that note, let's end on something good. Trev, what do you got?
I agree. Good. At this point in the game, I think that we both, or all of us, me, Ryan, and you, should definitely connect. I'm all about connecting. Whether it's a meat doe, whether it's a big buck, I think at this point we just need to connect.
At this point, I'm trying to get meat.
Yeah,
we need to break the ice and then we start hunting.
I don't want to sound like that, but we have some big boys on camera that are gonna come through throughout the season, and we're definitely
Fabio's still out there.
Fabio, I got the twin.
Yeah.
There's a lot to come, but I think just getting something on the ground, first blood, is gonna be the big push.
Yep. What I got to bring to the table that's good and staying on a good vibe is it was a really fun experience chilling with Trev and Ryan. First time hunting together as a group, learning new land, seeing a lot of sign, and now I have a really good strategy on how to attack this parcel of land. And it was how many acres?
The 600.
600 on that parcel, and there's another other parcel that's like, what, 1,500? So we're going to make it happen.
Yeah, and just being out there and just living it.
Yep.
It is what it is.
If
we're not going to be no heroes killing a ton of deer. We're just going to learn it.
Right.
That's all that matters.
So we'll be sensitive to everyone's time and cut it right around now, so this way we'll leave you starving for more. All you 4 listeners now will be starving for more. So what we have to
just
say...
stay stepping.
Stay slaying.
That's right.